Speaking of studs, I'm going to talk about a stud for a second. He went from Mexico to the Canadian border.
Crazy.
Yeah.
These guys are crazy.
He averaged a little over 100 miles a day. The Topeka area is right up there around number 1 or 2 in mileage of various trails that people don't even know about.
This podcast was brought to you by Choose Topeka. If you're thinking about making a move, Choose Topeka can get you up to $15,000 to relocate.
Whether you're buying or renting, Topeka and Shawnee County are ready to welcome you. Apply now at choosetopeka.com. We're back in the studio today. We've got Mr. Rick Bean, president of the Top City Trail Alliance, in the house with us. Welcome to the studio.
All right, excellent. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So you're an outdoors enthusiast,
Yes.
and Top City Trail Alliance helps oversee and maintain and build trails, hiking trails, riding trails. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So we're a nonprofit organization. We were organized in 2021. And our main goal is to make our community better. I mean, we're all about volunteers. There's, all the money that comes into our organization goes directly to the trails. Our volunteers don't get paid. They're out there doing their thing. And, the primary, I guess it could be broken down into 4 areas. One is maintaining trails. There's a lot of existing trails out there that need maintenance, and we do that. And we do that through memorandums of agreement with various land managers. We also build our own trails, which we've built some trails here in Topeka, and they've turned out, I think, very nice. We have social events for the community.
Yeah.
That includes trail runs, hikes, and mountain biking.
Yes.
And then we like to try to educate folks on, it rained today. Please stay off the trail. Don't leave ruts, and
Right.
trying to appreciate the trail system that we have here in Topeka.
That's awesome, man.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a dumb question that falls into number 4 that you just said.
Okay.
You're going to educate me here.
All right.
When you say trails in Topeka, what goes through my mind is the Shawnee County Parks and Rec concrete trail that I run around on Shunga.
Sure.
I actually don't run around on it. We walk the dog. What other kind of trails are there? I guess materials or whatever you describe it as. What kind of trails are you talking about?
So we're primarily responsible for what I call natural surface trails. So these are trails that will go through a prairie or a woodlands, or, they're natural surface, meaning that they're dirt, roots, rock, that type of stuff. And amazingly enough, there's quite a few miles of trails here in Topeka, which is awesome, because if you look across the state of Kansas, I'm thinking, the Topeka area probably is right up there around number 1 or 2 in mileage of various trails that people don't even know about.
Really?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite trails?
Well, here in Topeka,
here in
or
Topeka.
statewide,
Here in
or
Topeka.
nationally, or,
we could go that way.
all right. Here in Topeka, I really like Kaw River State Park. I really do, and the reason why I do is because you're looking at Kansas natural forest. Which, how many forests do we have in Kansas? But here's a natural forest, natural hardwoods. You're setting right above the Kansas River, and you're talking about elevation-wise of 100 to 150 feet elevation difference between the river to the top of the hill.
That's awesome. Okay, so before we were recording, we were talking about this. I mistakenly thought that was all lumped in with Governor's Mansion, but it's everything on the other side of that paved hill from Governor's Mansion is a separate park, and that's Kaw River State Park.
Right. So there's that asphalt road that goes down to the boat dock. So on the east side is the Governor's Mansion. It's Cedar Crest. And on the west side is the Kaw River State Park. So there are 2 different organizations that are land managers. The Cedar Crest organization for the governor's side, and then Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks for the west side. And we take care of the west side, and we're working on hopefully trying to get maintenance on the east side as well.
Cool.
The interesting thing about the west side, by the way, if you want a little more about it, is that Kaw River State Park is the only urban park that I know of in Kansas. It
Like
is
within
a park
city limits?
right in, yeah. I mean, right here in Topeka, 100,000 plus can enjoy that park. And it's one of the only state parks that they don't charge a fee. You know, most of the time you go into a state park, you have to get the sticker, you have to pay.
Interesting. That never crossed my mind.
There's a positive to that and a negative to that.
Right.
You know, obviously, the positive is it's free. You know,
Right.
you can go in and enjoy the park. The negative is that their budget for that particular park is probably not as good as the other budgets that have
Harder to
boating
maintain.
Right.
yeah, other things. But
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, let me
I
ask-
love that trail, man. Sorry.
No, you're
It's
it's-
such a fun trail. And there's so many
Yeah.
options. You can take different routes each time. You got the few bridges there.
Mm-hmm.
We jog the trail. We'll hike with our kids. That's a fun one.
how many trails in Kansas has that scenario, that scenery, you know, the river, the woods? Not very many.
Right.
So we're lucky.
Yeah.
And it is nice. The elevation gain is really nice. Like if you're, we're training for something and it's like, man, we need something with some elevation here. And man, you just go that up and down and it's great.
You can. There's a lot of people that train out there.
Yeah, it's
it really
great.
is.
How many trails do we have in Topeka?
We have quite a few. So let's talk about what I call the four main trails in Topeka. And again, I'm talking about natural surface trails. So
Yeah.
I'm not including concrete and all that.
Right.
Yuck.
So Kaw River State Park, Cedar Crest, Skyline, which is a lot of people know that as Burnett's Mound,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
and then Dornwood. And
Okay.
and Dornwood happens to be probably the oldest, what I call mountain bike trail in Topeka, and probably in Northeast Kansas is one of the older ones.
Do they vary in difficulty?
All four of them are different. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Let me ask you this here. My friend Johnny Boy here is an experienced trail runner.
Okay.
I am not. What would you recommend for a beginner of those four, and what would you recommend for someone who's maybe in better shape?
Yeah, so probably, elevation, right? You need to be in pretty good shape to run up the hill, if you will. So that would probably be Cedar Crest and the Kaw River State Park.
Okay.
All
A little
right.
bit harder.
But there are areas there that are easy too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you stay up on the top of that hill and do a loop up there, you're going to be fine.
Yep.
All right. Burnett's Mound. Burnett's Mound has some elevation, but not as much as the other two. And then Dornwood is very unique because we have three loops there. We have the blue loop, the yellow loop, and the orange loop, and each one's a little bit different.
Huh.
I think you'd be probably set to do the blue loop, and then if you got tired with the blue loop, you could run on the concrete trail, which is Deer Creek that runs through there.
So there's almost different. So when you say loops, just different ways to do the trail.
Well, there's just what we call loops, I guess, they're complete loops. So you can start at one point and end at the other, but they're all different in the sense of, like, the orange loop to me is really rocky and choppy and techy in certain areas, whereas the yellow loop is just a blast. It's a flow loop that goes down into a abandoned riverbed, and you get a lot of, what I call dip-de-doos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the blue loop has a little bit of everything. So a lot of characteristic with that park, which we applied for a grant on that park, and it's with Blue Cross Blue Shield, with Live Will Shawnee County being our sponsor. And I think we're getting pretty darn close to getting that grant, which will hopefully add a fourth loop.
Cool.
And then do some improvements on the existing park, such as putting up a kiosk and trail signage and some safety. We had public availability sessions with the community there, and one of their biggest things was safety. So getting signs and lights and things like that, I think is important.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's the one trail I haven't been to, is the Dornwood one.
A lot of people have not.
Yeah. But I've gone past it. Like, so the Deer Creek one is what goes from Shunga to Shawnee Lake. Is that one? Yeah. So it connects kind of to the Dornwood one.
Yeah, it connect. In fact, it goes right by Dornwood. So you can go from Deer Creek right onto the Dornwood trails. Just right from there. Dornwood has a unique history in the sense that it used to be a dairy farm. So if you go up to the top where there's ball diamonds, there's also an old structure from the dairy farm, old limestone structure that's sitting there, and that's the entry into the Dornwood Trails.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been to those fields, but I've never gone actually into the park. Interesting. Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So you are the president, but also one of the founding members in 2021. How did this come about? Was it? How does this even start?
Sure. So, everybody on our group obviously is either a mountain bike rider, trail runner, a hiker. I consider kayaks another trail in the sense of it's water trail.
Sure. I never thought of it that way.
That is
That's
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, a water trail.
Yeah. But at the Kaw River State Park, we had been riding that for several years, and there was an area to the west in which renegade trails was being cut in. And the park manager at the time, Tony Reitz, he thought, well, this can't happen. I'm going to have to close this whole section of the park. So obviously, trail users, we didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So we called a meeting with Tony. Tony was awesome, by the way. But we called a meeting with Tony, and we had I bet we had 15, 16 members of the trail user groups there.
Really?
Talked through it with him, and he said, Rick, one of the best things that we can do here is we need some maintenance out here. Why don't you try to form a group called, Friends of the Kaw or Friends of the Kaw River State Park or whatever you want to call it? And he goes, that way, you guys can help take care of some of this stuff. We talked about it a little bit, and we thought, dang, that's a pretty good idea, because we do want to keep these trails active. We don't want to lose any part of it. So we got together as a small group, and we decided to go forth with it. I ended up putting together our nonprofit organization package, and then I did negotiations with Terry Bruce, I don't know if he's still there or not, but he was the attorney for Wildlife and Parks. And we came up with a MOU, TCTA's very first MOU, that we would help maintain and take care of the park, because again, there's not a lot of money up there.
Right.
And then over time, that has grown, into a MOU with Shawnee County and Shawnee County Parks and Rec, Washburn University. We just recently had one with the Wabaunsee County on a trail that we've worked on with them in Wabaunsee County. And then some private landowners, we have agreements with them to work on trails. So,
what is so cool about this story is it, but I think it kind of encapsulates Topeka. There's two different kinds of people in Topeka.
100%.
There's people that see something that Topeka's missing and something that Topeka struggles with and says, we suck. What Kansas City would never. And they go to Facebook and they complain about it. Then there's Rick Bean, who says, I'm going to do something about it.
Right.
I'm going to make this better. It doesn't have to be this way. And you put the time in and, you made something super, took an unfortunate situation, low maintenance, and you gave the city something in the community that we can all enjoy. So shout out to you. That's really cool.
Well, I appreciate that. And it's not just Rick Bean. It's a group of dedicated, folks that have got together to do this. And the only way to make it happen is, we started out, most of the group was mountain bikers. And it was like, well, there's a lot of other trail users. We've got to become diverse. We got to diversify.
Sure.
So by diversification, I mean, we wanted to include trail runners, hikers, dog walkers. Dog walkers are probably one of the biggest users out there.
I can imagine, yeah.
Kayakers. So our board actually consists of members of each one of those groups to represent all of us.
Cool.
Because there's power in numbers, right?
Right. And to make sure that there's like something exciting there for everybody, like runners and bikers. And
exactly. Like, if you're building a mountain bike trail, that might be different than what the trail runners want to see or what the hikers want to see. So it's trying to get ideas together to make everyone happy.
Yeah. So that's cool, man. So you said these are natural surface trails. Is that what you call them?
Yeah.
What do you call the paved trails? Just unnatural surface trails?
City boy
I
trails.
just call them concrete or asphalt trails.
So like if kayaking on a river, that would be like a natural surface trail.
That's the way I consider it, yes.
What would a water slide be?
A water slide.
A water slide is kind of like a man-made water trail.
Well, are you talking about a plastic slide? Right? Are you talking about a water slide down rocks? Because there are.
If you go to like World Oceans of Fun, you're like, hey man, I'm hiking. I'm just doing man-made trails.
Man-made trails.
Right? No, I'm just joking. I'm curious. How did you get so into just outdoor life activity?
I think just growing up, I grew up in northwestern Kansas, and hunting, fishing, hiking, all of that is things that we did.
Yeah.
And my parents and my brother encouraged outdoor activities. We camped out all the time, and I love the outdoors. I love the nature, and I think for especially somebody that lives in Topeka, Topeka is not a huge city. It's kind of that in-betweener, what I call.
Right.
But we all need nature. We all need to be able to relieve our stress. And I think nature does that for us.
Yeah, it's so true. That's so great.
You were telling us off air what you do in your day job.
Sure.
You want to tell the viewers? 'Cause I think it really speaks to what you're doing now. It's really cool how it overlaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a long history. I'm kind of old, but so I worked.
You age really well, by the way. When you said your age, I was like, I would have guessed 10 years under that. So.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a good compliment.
Shout out to being active outside, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Benefits, right?
Come on.
So I worked 30 years for the state of Kansas. I retired from there in 2014. I'm a professional geologist, so I have my license in geology. That's what I studied in school. And after I got done with the state of Kansas, it was like, I'm not done yet. I'm young. I'm ready to go. And a good buddy of mine who I went to college with, he gave me a call. And he said, Rick, we need you. We'd love to have you. And he, at that time, owned a company called GSI Engineering. It was stationed in Wichita, and he asked me to be a partial owner, which there was 3 of us owners. And he goes, I want you to open up shop in Topeka. And I opened up a shop in Topeka, and boom, everything happened. It was going great. And we suddenly looked at each other in 2021, the year of COVID, and it was like, dang, we're all of a sudden like over 60, and what are we going to do? Do we want to try to sell this thing or keep going? And the 3 partners got together, and we said, let's put it out there and see what happens. Mm-hmm. So we put it out on the market, and we had lots of offers, and we ended up going with a national company out of Orlando, Florida, called UES, and we went from a small business of 84 to 4,500 nationwide.
Wow. Yeah.
And as part of that, the 2 of the partners, we were the older partners, we signed to give them, to allow the transaction to happen, we had to give them 3 years to make sure that the transition from small business to the large company went well.
84 employees? I mean, that's
a decent amount.
Yeah, it's a small business. I guess that's a lot of employees. I mean, that's a big deal. What was your role with that company before you?
All right. Yeah, with GSI, I was the director of environmental services and the vice president.
Okay.
So, director of environmental services, what that means is we do many different things from an engineering standpoint, a geologic standpoint. But environmental services means if somebody had a wreck and hazardous waste was spilled, that caused the environment, soil and groundwater to be contaminated, we go out and find ways to clean it up. Mm-hmm. If you had a private well and your private well water was contaminated, we figure out where it was coming from, and we try to get you to where a treatment system would clean your water up.
That's interesting.
So things like that.
That's cool. Stupid business question. How does one put their business on the market? Like, is there like a Facebook Marketplace or like a Zillow for businesses? Like, you listed on Zillow or something. You're like, oh, I'm interested in the business. Where can I look to, How does that work?
There's market managers. You reach out to a business manager that markets businesses and
gotcha. Okay, so it's kind of a private,
you have to put together a plan and all sorts of stuff like that. You have to show them all your your books and all that.
So there are people that kind of like broker
that
deals
specialize,
like that.
brokers that specialize in that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. It's interesting just what you said about the overlap. If I was working for the city. And like you brought up the meeting that you had with the city guy, and he was like, why don't you start if I was that guy, I don't think I could have found a better person than a professional geologist to be the guy who makes and maintains hiking trails in Topeka. Like, if I was going to plan this from the beginning, I'd be like, well, we need a geologist to be the head of this
Rick
thing.
Beans.
And then here you go. Like, man, you're passionate about mountain biking and you're a geologist. Like, that's like the perfect Venn diagram for this, right?
Yeah, it was good being able to continue to work with soil and rocks and roots. But, quite honestly, our board, which is just awesome. I mean, we have engineers, a couple of engineers on the board. One engineer, he works at GSI Engineering, and he is really good at stormwater control. So stormwater is crucial in maintaining trails. You have these large erosional features. If you don't maintain them right,
the water
and don't put in the right erosional features, you have these big ruts, and it's almost impossible to hike.
Right.
So having a diverse board that have many different technical backgrounds is very important. It's not just about geology. It's about engineering. It's about just understanding trail maintenance and elevation. Our trail coordinator, the guy is just incredible with working with backhoes and working with mini X's and skid steers and you name it, he can do it.
That's what I was going to ask is like, when you put in trails, are you the ones physically digging these out and cutting down trees? And it sounds like you have a guy who does that really well.
It's 100% volunteer work. And, like the Washburn trails, the majority of the Washburn trails were all hand cut. As a true...
Which ones are the Washburn trails?
So the Washburn trails are over there. We talked about the Kaw River State Park. Right. So if you go to the west of the Kaw River State Park, there's the KTWU radio tower.
Right.
So we have built trails in the woods on that property through a MOU with Washburn.
Okay. So
but that
Washburn
was pretty
owns
much
that. Washburn University owns that.
They do.
Interesting, yeah.
But that was pretty much all hand built. Hardly any equipment at all. Whereas we have some downhills. I don't know if you've heard of our downhills called the Hornet's Nest. It's on the Kaw River State Park property.
The mountain bike downhills?
Well, there's two mountain bike downhills, and of course, if you make downhill for bikers only, you got to have another one for hikers only. So we've got a hikers only uphill and downhill.
Oh, okay.
But those were built by Trevor, who again is the handy dandy guy, and he basically volunteered his own mini axe, his own fuel, to go and build those, and he spent weeks and months out there.
Wow.
Really?
Of course, the rest of our trail crew went out and did the handwork for him.
Right. So he'd do the major stuff, and then everyone would clean it up. And
that guy he's one of the most dedicated trail guys I know. I mean, he's just awesome.
What's his name?
Trevor Dabney.
Nice.
Wow.
Shout out to Trevor.
Yeah, seriously. That's awesome, man. Wow. So this is all volunteer driven.
All volunteer. And you don't know how many times we've been asked on the trails, so are you guys getting paid? And it's like, no, we're not getting paid. We're not. So why do you do it? Because we love our community. We love our trail system, and we want to make our trail system better. And at TCTA, we have kind of a little slogan. It's called "Earn Your Dirt."
Earn your dirt.
So if you're running a trail, hiking a trail, biking a trail, you're using that trail system, right?
Yeah.
So earning your dirt means you need to put in some volunteer hours with our group.
So I shouldn't have
to make
admitted
that trail
how often
better.
I use your trails.
I'm
just kidding.
You're
I've
a
not been to these at all.
We're going to see you out there one of these days, right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So what trails do we have in Topeka again?
How many volunteers would you say, different volunteers do you guys have that are maybe you'd say part of the nonprofit that help?
Yeah. So member wise, so we have memberships.
Okay, you do? Okay.
We do. And our membership's $50 for a lifetime member.
Nice.
And that all goes again towards organization and all that. And that includes your entire family. So, I think we're up to maybe 60, 65 families. Yeah. We're up to a little over 900 followers on Facebook. So there's a lot more followers. And out of that 65, there's probably what I call 15 to 20 dedicated trail crew folks. Not saying the others aren't dedicated, because they'll volunteer money or equipment or whatever. Sometimes you just physically can't go out and work on a trail. Right. So we've got many folks that will just donate money, and that's just as important as working on the trail. You got to have all of it, right? Yeah. To make something successful. But we have trail days on our trails once a month. So every month there's a trail day, and it's going to be at a different park. So you got plenty of opportunity to come out and help.
And earn the dirt.
Earn the dirt. And we oftentimes get a lot of volunteers that aren't members that will come out.
Yeah.
In fact, last year we had the opportunity of having an entire frat come out. Nice. They had their volunteer projects for Washburn, and they brought a bus out.
Wow.
And it was
That's
awesome.
Funny.
Awesome.
Put those guys to work.
And they worked. They did a good job.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned a lot of the trails in the broader Kansas area and maybe even nationally. Do you have some favorite trails?
Yes.
So you primarily you're doing mountain biking?
I'm a mountain biker and a hiker.
Okay.
I can't trail run. I had a couple surgeries on the knee from basketball, and I can't do the trail running. But
okay, I'd be curious if you had to list your top 3 or 5 favorite mountain biking trails anywhere that you have ridden.
Yeah.
What would be your top 5 favorite trails anywhere that you've ridden before?
Good question. That is a good question. I'm going to start in Kansas. All right. You got to start in Kansas, and it's switchgrass.
Okay.
Switchgrass is out at Wilson, Kansas, and it's a 20 plus mile long trail. And it is primarily, it's a very unique trail in the sense that the surface of the trail is Dakota sandstone. So it's not your dirt, and I mean, there's sand, there's sandstone, there's rock gardens. And for me, as a mountain biker, I'm kind of ADD in a way. I just, and mountain biking makes you focus on every step, because you don't want to fall off the trail.
Right.
You don't want to die, right?
Yeah.
So switchgrass is just, it's incredible. And there's a organization called IMBA, International Mountain Bike Association, which have epic trails. They call them epic trails, the best trails around, and Wilson our switchgrass is one of those.
Wow. Okay.
Here in Kansas.
Wow. Cool.
So awesome.
Where is Wilson, Kansas?
I was just getting ready to ask that.
So it's out by Hayes, Kansas. You probably know where Hayes, Kansas is. Yeah.
Nice.
So very cool.
Yeah.
Then I've got to go south to Arkansas.
I wondered if Arkansas.
Oh my God! I've got a Airbnb down there.
Oh, let's go.
And hundreds of miles of trails in Arkansas.
Wow.
I mean, in Bentonville area.
I've heard it's kind of the mountain biking capital of the U.S.
It is amazing. I mean, you can get up at 6 a.m. and there's bikers and trail runners and hikers, and then you can go to bed. And, we're pretty close to the trail, and there's still people going. Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible.
Wow.
And they're all healthy. They all look great. They all have smiles. I mean, it's amazing what outdoors can do for you.
Yeah.
So the trail systems down there, I'm not going to pick one or two. That whole trail system is incredible.
Yeah.
They have a greenway. So a greenway is like shunga. It's concrete. And it runs from Bella Vista, Arkansas to Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is about 40 miles.
Okay.
Wow.
So you can go on that, and you can then pop off on all these different mountain bike trails as you're going, or breweries or coffee houses or whatever.
Dude, that's cool.
It
so you
is,
can do
man.
like a tour with a mountain bike.
And I would love to see that in Topeka, to where you have some connectivity with these trails.
So you can do that between Topeka and Kansas City. Like, could you go, if you had a trail from here to Lawrence to Kansas City that was paved, then you could pop off.
You could
there's
pop
there's
off.
mountain bike. There's trails here. There's trails in Lawrence. There's
There
trails
is.
in Kansas City.
Yeah.
that would be
That's a long
sweet.
way.
That would be sweet.
It's kind of like the brew to brew like marathon people do.
Yeah.
The like
Absolutely.
the Lawrence to Kansas
Lawrence,
City.
Kansas City thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that whole area, Mount Nebo in Arkansas is one of my favorites as well.
Mount Nebo.
Yeah, it's down by Russellville, but it's a blast.
Wow.
And then, quite honestly, a friend of mine, we went to New Zealand, and we did a mountain bike trail. I can't even remember
That's
the name
cool.
of it, but man, it was incredible.
That is epic. You
It
did
was
like the Lord of the
incredible.
Rings
That's
mountain
exactly
bike
what I was
tour
Yeah,
thinking.
it was so
I was
cool.
thinking
Yeah.
you're mountain biking through.
through the Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yes, what's
Through Hobbiton or whatever it's called.
Right.
Yes.
But we try
The
to, I
Shire.
mean,
The Shire, yeah.
we try to do different riding, like, Costa Rica, done that, Hawaii,
Dang.
New Zealand,
Wow.
all of those.
And New
so.
Zealand was top tier.
Yeah.
The
Wow,
way
top
you
tier.
talk about mountain biking and going to all these different places is how I feel about golf.
Golf,
it's
yeah.
like, this golf course is one of my favorites because of
Absolutely,
this.
yeah.
Or, this has a really cool, you can do this when you're
Yeah.
golfing, you can stop at this place. That's super cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
come down to Bentonville because there's about 5
Yeah.
different golf courses down
Hey,
there, right in the area.
Absolutely.
Right in the area.
Okay, mountain biking.
Yeah.
I know very little about it. If someone wants to get into mountain biking,
Mm-hmm.
what's kind of the starter equipment you need? Obviously, you need a mountain bike, which is different than a bike. What is
Yeah.
kind of that entry cost look like? What are some things that you would recommend for people to get into it? Quick heads up, if you've been thinking about moving to Topeka, Topeka might actually pay you to move. Seriously.
You could get up to $15,000 to live and work in Shawnee County. Check it out at choosetopeka.com.
Now, back to the show.
Right. So we have a couple of bike shops here in town. Obviously Caps, everybody's heard of Caps. And then Ad Astro Bike Company is another one. And both very good. And I would go to them. I wouldn't go to your I'm not against discount stores or super stores, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I'd go to one of our locals.
Right. Don't get a
And,
bike at Walmart. Get a bike at one of these bike shops.
It's not going to last on some of these trails.
Right. Right.
Quite honestly.
Yeah.
And I'd get an entry-level mountain bike. A hardtail is what they call it.
Okay.
A hardtail.
Hardtail, okay. So it's got shocks in the front, but the seat doesn't have a shock.
Oh, that's
Whereas,
like a hardtail.
as we get more advanced, we want shocks both in the seat and,
Okay.
So a hardtail. And you're probably looking at, I'm going to just say $600 to $1,500
Okay.
for just an entry level. You need it.
$1,500 would be entry level.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I knew they were
Yeah.
expensive. To be honest, that was
Yeah.
less than I was thinking.
Yeah, so I mean, so when you get more advanced, you start getting into carbon and lighter weight
Oh,
stuff.
sure.
And
Yeah.
So I had a Santa Cruz. I just sold it, and it cost me $7,500.
Yep.
Whoa.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
And it was carbon fiber?
Carbon fiber.
Wow.
So is it just like lighter, easier to move?
It's lighter. I think the maneuverability is a little bit better. Obviously the components like the shocks and the drivetrain
and-
and the brakes and all that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Higher quality. But so the bike, definitely a helmet.
Yep.
Definitely a helmet. Gloves. You want gloves.
Yep.
Which don't cost that much. And usually some sort of hydration, either a pack for the back or for your bike.
Here's a dumb question. Mountain biking, even for someone who's advanced like you are, I mean, you're wearing a helmet.
And I'm not advanced.
Oh, come on.
I've only been doing it for 13 years.
You are the president of a nonprofit. Ugh.
No, 13
Bro, you're
years.
You're riding a $7,500 carbon fiber bike. That's not advanced.
So advanced is somebody that's been on the racing circuit, and we've got plenty of them in town.
Really?
Yeah,
There are people
a
in
lot of
Topeka?
members. A lot of our members, have been on the racing circuit. Lyle Reedy is well known.
Really?
He's been out there, racing. Alex Sage, there's a lot of them. But speaking of studs, I'm going to talk about a stud for a second, and his name is Andy Phillips. And Andy is on our he's on our he's a TCTA member.
Cool.
And he's a trail coordinator for Dornwood. So
Okay.
so here's Andy's latest race. He started at the Mexican border on a single speed bike, so no gears. You have one gear
Fixed or
fixed, and he went from Mexico to the Canadian border.
on a fixed gear?
fixed gear.
Wow.
Took him 28 days. He averaged, I think, a little over 100 miles a day.
Wow.
And he beat all his competitors by like a day and a half or two.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is like a full-on race. Like
It's
like
amazing.
an organized race.
Yeah. How does a guy do that?
That's crazy.
And this same guy, like races here in Kansas, like Marysville, for example, he will ride his bike to Marysville. He will do the race, which is a 100-mile race, and then he'll ride his bike back.
Wow.
It's like, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I used to be really into fixed gear bikes back in the day. I had this group of friends that were really into fixies. And so he did that
On a single speed bike.
from Mexico to Canada.
Single speed bike.
That's
That
crazy.
is
Did he have
Yes.
brakes on the bike?
Does he have brakes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, if
it's
it's
a regular
fixed-
bike. Well, maybe I'm not thinking of it. It's a single speed. So
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
not a fixed bike, but a single
okay,
speed.
yeah.
One gear.
Yeah. So we would have I forget what they called it, but the gear on the back, a flip flop hub.
Oh, okay.
So you could flip the tire. So on one you could coast. And you
Okay,
would
I gotcha.
obviously you'd have brakes, but it was single speed, but it would coast.
Yeah.
And then the other it was fixed to the wheel. There's no coasting. If
Gotcha.
the wheel was moving, your pedals were moving. So like a kid's bike, but kids' bikes have the brakes where you like gently resist and it brakes. This
Yeah.
didn't have that. So if you resisted, it would buck you off.
Oh, I gotcha.
And you had to anyway. So
Now, this single speed bike.
So, Andy-
But
Yeah.
we have similar studs, though, basically ultra marathon runners
That's
that
crazy.
are part of our group. And,
Wow.
and when you can run 100 and some miles in like a weekend, isn't that nuts?
that's nuts.
See, you
That's
keep
nuts.
saying the word stud, and I'm just thinking crazy.
Yeah.
These guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Different definitions.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
So are most like the are there mountain bike races in addition to like what you're describing? Mexico to Canada, I assume, is a road race, not like a trail.
Well,
Or am I wrong?
That was kind of a gravel trail. It wasn't on roads.
Oh, really?
I mean, they have one from another one that, now Andy didn't do this, but one I'm familiar with, it starts at the Mexican border. And, but before we got on air, you were talking about Grand Canyon. So they have to ride to the Grand Canyon. They have to disassemble their bikes, put it on the back, hike the Grand Canyon, and then ride from the Grand Canyon all the way north to Canada.
What?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
No, thank
That
you.
is the craziest race ever.
How
Wow.
do people do this?
I don't. It's like people are like, "Hey, man, my life isn't hard enough. I need to come up with new, harder, more painful things to do."
Do hard things.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy,
Isn't it?
Wow, that's wild. So
Yeah.
those guys in Topeka, those are the kinds of races that you're describing when they're like, we have guys doing race circuits. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, when they were on the circuit, I mean, it would be like just races around the Midwest, in which they would do, some hard riding, 15, 20, 25 miles, whatever, and you're racing against others
Gotcha.
with similar
Yeah.
talents.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like on a mountain bike trail, kind of a
Mountain
thing.
bike trail,
Okay.
technical,
Man.
all of that stuff.
That's why it's crazy how like there are so many like rabbit holes in life you could just go down.
Oh, yeah.
And you could become like, like I didn't even know there was mountain bike racing. Let alone like that could become your whole life where you throw yourself into this.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
John, can I go a step further?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go a step further. So in Topeka, we actually have a youth mountain bike racing team.
Really?
There you go.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
Gosh.
Wow.
it's sponsored by NICA, and these are kids from all of our school districts. I can't remember the age group, but it may be from like 6th grade on up. But yeah, we've got coaches. Some of the coaches are on our board, and they train them, and they go around the state, and other communities within our state have mountain bike teams, and
Wow.
they race each other, and it is a blast. We used to have last year we had a race at the Kaw, for example. They didn't race there this year, and hopefully it'll be back. But and then I spoke of Bentonville.
Yeah.
Bentonville actually has mountain biking in junior high and high school.
Wow.
Really?
So yeah,
Like the schools have that?
Yeah.
Like in high school, you could be on the mountain biking team.
yeah,
That's
certain
cool.
schools, certain schools.
Can
Yeah,
you imagine? That would
Yeah.
be so awesome to go to school with a mountain biking team.
I got to go to mountain biking practice.
Yeah.
I got mountain biking practice.
Well, and
That's
then
awesome.
Go a step further. Fayetteville, University of Arkansas, they have a mountain bike trail that goes through their campus.
Wow.
So you can get on the mountain bike trail a little bit and go to your class.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Whereas KU, it was just up a paved hill that was impossible to ride your bike.
It
up.
was a
Like,
steep hill, though.
bro, riding your bike to class is pointless at KU. Yeah, that's awesome. Man, that's very cool.
Yeah.
It's wild to me. I mean, we had on a guy who's a supercross racer, and it's like another whole world of things.
It is.
I was like, I don't even know how any of that works, but it's like people have dedicated their lives. And same with like mountain biking, and there's so many things like that I think so many people have no idea.
There's so many things out there to do with your life, right?
Yeah.
You just pick a niche and get into it,
Yeah.
right? And you know, the thing that just bothers me is, and you hear it, is, there's nothing to do in Topeka. There's
Yeah.
plenty to do in Topeka if you just look for it, guys.
Yeah.
There is.
That is wild. It kind of makes it kind of reminds me of like you guys ever get on Netflix and you don't have something you want to watch when you get on? Like you're like, we'll find something. Well, then you spend 45 minutes looking through all the options, trying to figure out what to watch. And then you end up like, well, it's too late to start something now. We're just going to bed, you know? It's like, that's a little bit like the decision fatigue of like, hey, you got to commit. Like you got to find something that you commit to.
You do.
Instead of like, well, let me weigh all the options. Like, hey man, you just find something, throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And usually, being out on a trail, for example, hiking, whatever, is a little bit healthier than watching TV.
Yeah.
But 100%. Yeah.
But, you gotta have some of that TV time too, a little bit just to relax.
I just mean as a metaphor for like how many options there are to like, am I going to throw myself into mountain biking or supercross or running or this or that or whatever, chess club, it's like, hey man, you're wasting your time spinning your wheels. Like just find something.
Right. And some of those sports, if you will, they're starting to grow, right? I mean, like the trail runners, we'll go out, we have, I think we talked about this maybe off air, but we have for our community social events. So every Tuesday there's trail runs out at the Kaw, for trail runners or hikers. Wednesday morning at 7:30, there's a hike that we do. Thursday, there's mountain biking, a group mountain bike ride.
Wow.
But the trail runners, for example, last Tuesday, they had 38 people out there.
Wow.
And in fact, we had an event that we held this weekend, summer solstice, that we had 92 participants.
What?
The trail runners, this is at Skyline, the trail runners cranked out over 900 miles in one day.
Is this, what's the event at Skyline? I don't know if it still happens, but I've heard about it where it's like, it's one of those races where you just like go until you can't go anymore or something. It's 24 hours or something like that.
That's the Skyline Scramble, and that's in March, I think March of every year. And it's a growing event. I mean, I think Jonathan is up to, 150, 200 participants. I mean, it's growing.
And what is it again?
Skyline Scramble.
But what's the format of the race?
The format is they pick a route, and you basically just keep going. And I think he's got distances on it, but it's one of those where...
So you just see how many loops you can do, basically?
And the thing is, I talked to some of the ultra runners because I still don't get it.
Yeah.
So they're going all day, but they're not just running. It's about running and then walking if you need to walk, but you just keep going.
Okay.
And
gotcha. So it's just like as long as you're on the trail.
As long as you're on the trail, you keep going.
Gotcha.
And breathing. As long as you're on the trail and breathing.
Yeah. And breathing, living.
Have you guys heard there's a format of race I'm starting to hear about more? In fact, I think our friend David Vincent is, we might have to cut this. I don't know if that's public, but there's someone locally, I think, organizing this. But there's a format of race that is gaining popularity among runners where you have a certain amount of time to run, say, a 2-mile lap. And let's say you have 20 minutes to run a 2-mile lap. Now, if you're a runner, it shouldn't take you 20 minutes to run 2 miles. So you can stop after the 2 miles and you have whatever left of 20 minutes to break, to rest.
Oh.
But then on the 20-mile mark, you have to go again. And it's just whoever lasts the longest. And as soon as you can't start on the next 20 minutes, you're out. And so it's last man standing, and people will go 24 hours, 30 hours, and they'll end up going 100 miles or whatever, because just every 20 minutes on the dot you go until you can't.
I've not heard of that.
It makes it easier to go a long distance, because you don't need to go to the Grand Canyon or whatever, or the Rockies. You can do it around a track. You can do it in a neighborhood, which is just kind of, it's an interesting kind of a new appealing format of race I've heard about.
Yeah, that sounds super fun for other people.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be awesome for them. I'm looking forward to it for them.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
That's like playing rounds of golf until you drop,
see,
right?
That checks out. In a cart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's say somebody's wanting to get involved in some of the things that you're describing.
Yeah.
Where would they go to find out, how do I become part of some of these social events? How do I find out where the trail running happens? How do I join the club?
Sure. So we have a Facebook. Everybody has a Facebook site, right? We have a Facebook site. That's probably the most up to date, is to go on the Facebook site. For the hikes and stuff, Fleet Feet works with us a little bit, then they put that out there. The Sunflower Striders are awesome. They do their thing.
Cool.
But we also have a website. The problem is that none of our members are good at designing websites, so it's sometimes out of date.
You're good at designing trails, but not websites.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody out there looking to help out, we do need a designer. But the website. But every week we announce social events, things like that. We have a social coordinator. She's awesome. She does great. Hunter Munns, who's awesome with the trail runners. He does great. So just so many people volunteer so much time to make these things happen. It's unbelievable.
Cool.
And I applaud all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did COVID affect outdoor life?
Well,
Before and after, is it different?
I think more people got out, to try to separate themselves from being inside.
Yeah.
Certain markets like mountain bikes, certain markets kind of exploded. Everybody wanted the mountain bike.
Yeah.
Which for the mountain bike manufacturers, that was great at the time, but I think it's kind of hurt them in the long run, because they had these high numbers of what they produced one year.
Right.
And then the next couple of years they produced and it went down.
Oh, they made just as many to meet.
Yeah. So now there's a glut of mountain bikes out there, So if you're into mountain biking,
now's a good time to get a deal.
Yeah.
Now's a good time to get a $7,500 carbon fiber mountain bike.
Yeah. So I think to answer your question, I think outdoor activity increased, and COVID changed a lot of things, not just that, but it changed, how people operate in business and at home, and it's crazy.
Yeah. But a lot of people were wanting to get out.
They were.
And be outdoors. Do you feel like, has that stayed the case, or was that a spike in 2020, 2021 that kind of went back to normal, or has it stayed, like more people are active in 2026 than in 2016? Because of COVID?
Well, I guess I'm not sure the answer to that. I would hope that more people are active.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people need to realize how important it is to be healthy, to stay, active. I mean, you read about all this stuff that we're eating that's not good for you, and blah, blah, blah. But man, it's so easy to get outside and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that both are easy. It's easy to slowly get into a lifestyle that kills you. Terrible food, staying inside, sedentary lifestyle. It feels hard. It seems like it's going to be really hard to build an active lifestyle when you're not doing it, but it really is really easy. It's super available, and it's just like baby step at a time.
It is.
Man, you slowly, to where, like, I wonder how many of these mountain bike stud racers set out at 5 years old, I'm going to be a stud mountain bike racer. I wonder if it was more like they just kind of like inched their way into it just one step at a time and found like, hey, I could do mountain bike racing, and it really is. It's just as easy. You just got to intentionally go the other direction. Like I'm going to start going outside. I'm going to go walk a trail today.
I think most of them probably inched their way into it.
Yeah.
I mean, like the trail runners, probably a lot of them did cross country or track or whatever, and they wanted to build on that,
I ran into these guys. I was telling you off air is there a name for the paved hill at Governor's Mansion that goes down to the river?
Well, I'm sure they have a name for it. I'm not sure what it is.
So it's in my understanding, it's the steepest, tallest hill in Topeka that you can just go up and down and up and down. And it's the Governor's Mansion. I ran into these guys who are about your age, and they're training for a 200-mile ultramarathon race. And so I'm asking them, like, how the heck did you get yourself into a position where you're doing a 200-mile race? Like, I was like, I just did my first ever marathon. You're running 200 miles. And they said, well, we just, didn't stop. We ran a marathon. And we're like, well, what else could we do? And so they didn't set out like we're going to train our whole lives to run 200 miles. They just thought like, well, what's next? Well, we could do a 30-mile race. And then we did. Then someone was like, hey, man, do you could do this 50-mile race? And then we just didn't stop. They just slowly inched their way into it. And I was like, man, that's really interesting. That's one way that you could build kind of an active lifestyle is just don't stop. Just slowly, inch your way in that direction.
And for a lot of them, it's about a personal challenge. They challenge themselves. They want to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that same hill, I've actually seen folks you've seen the football sleds that you pull.
Yeah.
I've seen people pulling those up.
Up the hill? Are you serious?
With weight on it. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's next level. Yeah, I'm not ready to do anything like that.
Hard pass.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, man, this has been such a pleasure. Should we do some rapid fire?
Yeah, hit him with some rapid fire.
We like to hit every guest with a few minutes of rapid fire. These are more Topeka.
Okay.
Living in Topeka questions rather than, specifically about your niche.
Okay.
So favorite things in Topeka. You ready?
Sure.
All right. Do you have a favorite local restaurant in Topeka?
Favorite local restaurant? I would say probably the Iron Rail downtown.
Good answer.
Solid answer.
They've done a nice job with some of the restaurants downtown and trying to get downtown to grow a little bit. I mean, that's what we need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great.
You have a local coffee shop you like to go to?
Oh, yeah. I do. I like all coffees.
Yep.
I like all coffees, and I try to go to all of them, but it has to be Circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is Circle.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, it's a good one.
I like the vibe, and the coffee's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
We sat outside with our doodles.
Yeah.
Oh,
Had
okay.
a nice little outside area.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to know the answer to this question, but do you have a go-to date night? Like Friday night, you got the evening open. What are you guys doing?
Wow. A go-to date night. When you get older, you don't have as many go-to date nights.
Yeah.
But I think just getting out and hiking and with the wife and the dogs. I mean, we have 2 golden doodles, and that's kind of our date night. Hike a little bit and go out and eat somewhere, and that's about it.
That's great, man. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing a home project. Home Depot, Menards, or Lowe's. Where are you going?
Well, I don't mind all three. They all have different things, but I go to Menards for most of my stuff. I love the rebate.
Yeah, because it's a great answer.
I love the rebate stuff.
It's a great place. You can pick up cereal. You can pick up your windows, too.
Yeah. Flea meds for your golden doodles.
Yeah. Dog toys.
Dog toys.
For the golden doodles.
Yeah. I'm quickly losing momentum in this fight.
Does he have his preference?
He's a Menards guy and I'm a Home Depot guy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. More so now only because of this feud.
Yeah, for sure.
I just gotta dig my heels in now at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many potholes did you hit on the way over here?
Potholes. I'm not sure I counted, but there were some.
There was a couple.
Yeah. There were some potholes, but it seems like everywhere we go, there's a road that's closed, and I'm not sure what's going on.
Dude.
But hopefully they're repairing potholes.
I will say they just opened Burlingame up finally.
Yeah.
Burlingame in 21st was closed forever, and it was driving me insane. It's finally opened up 3 days ago.
We had one of the city guys on our show who is kind of in charge of that communication of potholes and all the community stuff. He said they fill, 600 a week?
Yeah.
600 potholes
600
a week.
potholes a week.
in Topeka.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And there's like an app you can report like a pothole
Potholes?
to like bring it to their attention.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that's obviously about our freeze and thaw
Right.
situation.
That's what he said too. He's like,
yeah.
it gets hot, cold. You can put salt down. What do you expect?
I know it's hard. It's like it's easy to complain about. It's like, well, what do you really do? You know,
I'm gonna start a pothole nonprofit where we go out and maintain potholes.
There you go. Hey.
Top City Pothole Alliance.
Top City
Pothole
Pothole
Alliance.
I think
That's a good one.
Might be slightly harder to recruit volunteers to fill potholes
Probably.
than to maintain cool trails.
Earn your asphalt.
Earn your asphalt.
Earn your asphalt. That's good. I like it.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
What else do we got?
Oh man, that's great. Is there anything in Topeka that is missing you would like to see in Topeka that's not currently here?
Well, you probably know my answer to this, but
More trails.
well, when we talk about Bentonville, we talked about the Greenway, we talked about connectivity, connectivity with other activities, like mountain biking, like trail running, like coffee houses, like breweries, like whatever. We've got a situation where the governor's mansion is, where Kaw River State Park, Washburn. If you go on to the west, there's the Kansas Museum. There's, the villages have hundreds of acres in there, but connecting all of that into a really good trail system would be awesome, not only for tourism, but more importantly, in my sense, I know others will say tourism's huge, but for my sense, for our community,
right,
and getting our people out there to enjoy what we have.
It seems like the Shunga is the closest that we have to like a greenway.
Yes,
where it kind of cuts through a part of the middle section of the city. Do you think, is there any potential for the Shunga to like connect more of the city in the future, like go up to Governor's Mansion, or like, for instance, like it would be cool if you could hop on the Shunga and go play pickleball at
that's what I'm talking about.
The courts at 21st and Urish, like if they connected out there instead of just getting on a sidewalk, on 21st or something, or take it out, like you said, to a coffee shop. Like, is there any potential for Shunga to kind of keep connecting things?
I think there is. I think that's a question for the county and the city, but there is a master plan that they had some public comment on over the last couple months. And there's a consultant basically putting together all of those comments that Topeka had to hopefully develop something like you're talking about.
Or like to the zoo. Like your whole family could ride their bikes. To like we live half a mile from one of the sections of the Shunga. So we ride the Shunga all the time. And we're right in the middle of the city, so we're like, hey, do you want to go right or left? Do we want to go over here? It'd be sweet. I have little kids, and they can all ride bikes now. If we could ride that to the zoo.
It would be.
That would be an amazing Saturday.
It would be. And it's not, connectivity is not just about activities that you can do through the trail system.
Right.
But, there's a lot of people that could commute to work.
Right.
They wouldn't have to deal with the potholes and the traffic. They get on the trail and go to work.
Yeah, I will say that like most of the trails that I ever get on, which is the Kaw Valley, Governor's Mansion trails, the Shunga, they seem very actively used. Anytime I'm on a trail, I'm always seeing tons of other people. So, whether I'm running the Shunga or hiking or whatever, I don't think there's rarely a time where I don't see a ton of other people also using. So it is cool. We have a pretty active community in Topeka.
It is. And if we could just tie it all together, and I think that's what our community leaders need to start doing, and hopefully this master plan will be the start to that.
Cool. That would be pretty sweet. I've never thought about it quite like that. Like if this was the connection to all these other places, that would be really sweet.
It would be. Cool. It would be.
Rick, thank you so much, man. You want more?
I have one more. Two more questions for you.
Okay.
This one has to do with your mountain biking.
Sure.
Yeah. AirPods, are you an podcast, music, or do you raw dog it?
I love music, all sorts of different types of music.
Okay, so you're a music guy?
On a trail, I do not. And that's because of safety.
Oh, so nothing.
No, I mean, if somebody's coming up from behind me, I want to hear them.
Yeah.
And the scary thing is for the hiker or whatever, where you're, especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you've got earbuds in, you can't hear what's coming or going or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, so to get away from the buds, I have seen folks with the little. It's like a little Bluetooth speaker that they put on their body. Now, I might do that.
Okay, so
to where
it's
you
not,
can hear
it's
it.
not like covering your
like
ears.
Not
You can
covering
still
your
hear
ears.
and
Right.
hear everything
Right.
around you. That's
Right.
smart.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You're
Rick,
just blasting an audiobook through a Bluetooth
Do a
speaker.
little, Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Rick, thanks for being here. You've kind of already mentioned if people want to get involved, Facebook's the best place to find you and get connected.
Right. I've enjoyed it, guys, and I appreciate what you guys do for the community, getting the word out about organizations like ours. And I guess for the listening audience, man, come out and if you don't want to be a member, that's fine. Come out and enjoy the trail system with us on our social nights.
Yeah.
Let's go hike. Let's go do some running or biking or whatever you want to do. Bring your dogs. They got to be on a leash, but bring your dogs and let's go do it.
I love it. Do your children have to be on a leash?
No.
Thanks,
Well,
Rick.
thank you so much,
Appreciate
man.
it.
This is great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.